Welcome to our Advent series. Today we're going to take a brief look at one of the stories in the New Testament that sometimes we sit back and we wonder why Matthew recorded it, and then I think if we take a good look at it, we'll see how God uses people even when maybe they don't know they're being used to do something good or great or greater than they even suspect they're doing. But in Matthew 2, Matthew tells the story of the arrival of the Magi. And he uses the word that in Daniel is recorded to be trained in the Magi, the gifts of Babylon, so that he can be useful to the king of Babylon when in his captivity. Magi simply means wise men or magicians. It's used of a person in the New Testament on the Isle of Cyprus. Bar-Jesus is called a Magi. He wasn't a very successful one. He was actually corrupt, according to Paul. But as we look at these situations and we look at the arrival of the Magi, I want us to focus on one thing. Jesus has been born. He's in a house in Bethlehem. It may be a year after his birth, or maybe even 2 years, depending on how you interpret Herod's attempt to kill all the babies under 2 years old. They're in a house. They're staying there for some reason. They have already gone to the temple and made their sacrifices. There's reason, I guess, to stay there till the baby's big enough to travel all the way back to Nazareth or wherever they're going to go at that point. But God brings in the Magi, and we don't know if there's 3 or 2 or 5, and I suspect that they would have traveled in some kind of caravan with protection if they're carrying those kinds of gifts. As you look at the Magi, they come to Herod, they ask for directions, they get his curiosity up, he searches it out, and he plans to kill the children in Bethlehem. But he doesn't realize the Magi is God's escape plan. I just get tickled at Herod's ineptness as he tries to stop God's plan. The Magi go to Bethlehem. They call on Mary and Joseph and the small baby. They leave them gold, frankincense and myrrh, and that's escape money to go to Egypt, and that's what they do with it. They travel to Egypt and hide out from Herod in the Jewish community, probably in Alexandria. We don't know exactly where, but there's a large Jewish community in the northern part of Egypt during these times, and so they're hiding out from Herod right under his nose, as it were, with money that he provided for them by sending the Magi to Bethlehem. And I always get tickled. God is in control. His plan is going to succeed, regardless of how we plan to use it against him or to ignore him. He protects the baby, he protects the family, and he changes the world.